today we're gonna be doing another girl talk episode. Girl talk, girl talk, girl talk, girl talk. And it's a very requested topic, and the topic is how to maintain a positive relationship with your girlfriend or boyfriend. Not to be confused with perfect relationship, because if you're dating for a perfect relationship, then you're just looking for disappointment. A healthy relationship is not perfect. So this topic was requested because some of you guys know that Tim and I have been together for 8.5 years now, and it's been an amazing journey. He's a wonderful guy, but it doesn't mean we don't have bumps along the way. So these 9 years have taught me so much about myself, about Tim, and especially relationships. So I'm not trying to say that Tim and I have the best relationship, because we don't. I'm not trying to say I'm a love expert, because I'm not. I'm just sharing some of my insight on how we maintain a positive relationship. I think this is a great topic, not just for people who are in relationships, but also for people who are single and are preparing for their next relationship or their first relationship. Okay, so let's get started. I believe a healthy relationship consists a very healthy balance of trust, honesty, support, compromise, and respect. I think it's very important to be with someone who respects you. For example, Tim would never swear at me, and if he does, he's in big trouble. And it's the same with me. I would never swear at him or humiliate him in public. This doesn't apply to all guys. I know a lot of girls have this problem where their boyfriends just have a whole different attitude in front of their other friends, and it's something that Tim had. And the thing is, he didn't even realize this. He didn't even know that he acted different in front of me. So it was pretty annoying. It was definitely an ego thing. And for him, it was a way for him to exert his manhood onto me, just to look cool in front of his friends. Which brings me on to the next point. If there is a problem, solve it right away in the correct manner, or it will get worse. I know a lot of my friends who just complain about it. Oh, I wish he'll change, I wish he'll think more about me, but it's not going to do anything. Wishing isn't going to do you any favors. Tim and I never really raised our voices at each other, and if it is the case, it's normally me, but it's still pretty odd because I would like to think we're pretty laid back, but a lot of times I have to force myself to control my feelings. Sometimes our feelings just blind us, and they make us do irrational things and make us say things that hurt other people's feelings, because your feelings come and go and they change, and you just can't trust them. Sometimes you really have to focus on the mind as well. And I know it's hard because sometimes you can be so clouded with emotions, but that's something that I really had to train myself to do. There's another thing I learned, and no offense to all of the guys watching this, but ladies, some guys really aren't that bright, okay? So when I was younger, I made the mistake of thinking, if you are my boyfriend, you should know when I'm upset and why I'm upset. So thinking back, he'd be like, are you mad? No, I'm not mad. Are you sure? Yes, babe, I'm not mad. Gosh, I hate it when there's nothing good on television! And this goes on for ages. And when he finally catches on that you really are upset, it takes even longer for them to guess what they did that upset you. You may wait forever, so you might as well do yourself and your boyfriend a favor by just getting out in the open. But one thing for sure, make sure you do it one-on-one. Make sure their friends aren't about, because this could, be pretty embarrassing for them. Make sure that you don't do it in public so they don't feel humiliated, and you still respect them enough to do it in a private place. The thing is to give him a little heads up and make sure he's prepared for it. So don't just blurt it out of the open, out of nowhere, because believe me, that can make things worse. Tim really appreciates it when I just get to the point. I don't beat around the bush, but he also appreciates it when I'm willing to listen, because it may not be intentional, it could be a misunderstanding, and he could have reasons. I'm sure you guys know this already, but in a lot of cases, it's your attitude and tone that worsen this situation before the whole problem solving has even begun. So remember that your words fuel emotions, and emotions can fuel anger. So many relationships fail because people don't want to make effort to give their partners what they need. And they give lame excuses like, that's just the way I am. And I think it's really unfair, because people shouldn't have to suffer because of your bad attitude. Definitely be willing to compromise. For example, if the problem is neglection, then you have to learn to give more time to your partner, make more effort, and give them what they need, and vice versa. Believe it or not, I really think relationships are easiest when both of them are selfless. So it means they're both supportive, they're both caring, they're both helpful. But on the other hand, I think the hardest relationships are when you have to deal with selfish people. People who only think about themselves, they only think about what they want and what they need. And it shouldn't be like that, because love is a two-way thing. And if it does go one way, eventually the relationship will be strained. Trust is the foundation of your relationship. And when you don't have trust in your relationship, then it's really hard for it to succeed. I really believe that insecurity is one of the most suffocating emotions to deal with. I actually have a few friends who must do everything with their other halves, especially in terms of drinking and partying, because they're not even allowed to go out without them. And from that, you can see that they have a lot of problems. They're trying to hold each other too tight, and when you hold the other person too tight, you just end up hurting them, and you can end up hurting yourself as well. A little jealousy is healthy because it shows you care, but when it goes beyond obsessive, then this is a serious issue that you're gonna have to work with. They're meant to be with you, they won't hurt you. So compromise. If your other half is kind of insecure, then you may have to reassure them and give them a sense of security. I think a healthy relationship also gets help and support from family and friends. Especially in your first relationships, you can grow so attached to each other because it's all new, you don't know how to deal with it, you don't know what's right and what's wrong. So sometimes you can fall into a trap of just cutting out your friends, cutting out your family, and you're just happy being with each other. And you end up reaching a black hole where your happiness is totally and reliant on each other. So this is why so many people feel so lost after a breakup, because they just ditched away their social life and everything, and then afterwards they feel lonely, they feel like nobody's there for them. You need a good balance between boyfriends and friends and family. The next topic I'm going to discuss about seeing the heart of your boyfriend or girlfriend. Sometimes when you're on Facebook, it's so easy to see pictures of couples uploading pictures of what they buy each other, where they take each other, or just what they do for each other. And behind all of the pictures, you really don't know what goes on behind a relationship. It's nice to do a gesture by taking them out or whatsoever, but it really is about the heart. For example, a girl could feel so lucky because her boyfriend buys her Chanel handbags, he buys her jewelry, he takes her out, he always pays for her, but she doesn't know that he probably lies to her and cheats behind her back all the time. So it is all about the heart, and I feel like some girls can go off in a wrong direction when they think their boyfriends aren't romantic enough, they don't do grand surprises enough. A good friend, and she once told me that even though she loves her boyfriend, he's just too predictable. He rarely surprises her, and he just lets her pick wherever they want to eat. So yes, he wasn't as romantic as she might have hoped, but then she got over the superficial possessions and she saw the heart. She realized that even if he did choose where he wants to eat, she would just shut him down and say, no, we're not eating there. He knows and cares about her enough, and that's why he lets her choose. And I think that's why a lot of people feel disappointed in relationships, because their expectations fail them. So surely he may not be able to express himself through romantic gestures, but what he's already giving her is priceless, and all she needs to be happy. So are you focusing too much on actions rather than the heart? I'm going to talk about moving forward and leaving the past behind. I know some of you guys have probably been hurt and you just want to protect yourselves by building walls around you. But I just want you guys to realize that when you build walls around you, yes, you may prevent yourself from getting hurt, but you also trap yourself in and you stop all the happiness from coming in at the same time. Maybe some of you guys are still living in regret. You don't feel like you deserve to be happy. Just realize that sometimes good people do bad things. It doesn't mean they're bad people. It just means they're human, and as human, we make mistakes. It's time to just leave the past behind and concentrate on the future. And if you're in a relationship that's been strained by betrayal or whatsoever, then it will change for both of you guys. You both will have to work very hard. It may never go back to the way it was before, but if you really are willing to make things work, then you guys will go through the extra effort, time, and patience to make things work with each other. Otherwise, it's just pointless, because there's no point being halfway up the hill or halfway down, because you'll just end up hurting yourself or each other. If this love is really precious and valuable to you guys, then you guys should be able to give it that extra mile. So lately I've been reading this book, and it's pretty interesting because I learned that I have a melancholy personality, which means I'm artistic, I'm very punctual, but at the same time I'm very emotional. I get stressed very easily. I learned that Tim is a phlegmatic. He's calm, he's easygoing. So Tim needs me to kick his butt so he gets his work done on time, and I need Tim to slow me down from moving too fast. So even though we're very different, we have different interests, we somehow balance each other out. And there is a saying, sometimes two different people from two different worlds can come together to create their own little world. Either way, we do bring out the best in each other. I'm very aware of his flaws, he's very aware of my flaws. Tim, do you love me? But because we love and care about each other, somehow it makes it tolerable. At the same time, we work on our own flaws for the better. Appreciate each other, don't take each other for granted. Relationships are always changing, but hopefully together you guys can change for the better. So I hope this Girl Talk episode was helpful for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we shall speak soon. Bye everyone.
I'm ready to film now, so